Hello students, now today we are going to do about the mixtures. Before going to do about the mixtures, you should all memorize that what are the uses of the different elements, be it metals or non-metals, that's given in the previous page. Now we are taking our page number 25 in chemistry book. All of you have the book, so follow the book. Now mixtures. What are mixtures? A physical combination of two or more elements or compounds in any proportion is called a mixture. So mark it, and this is the definition that we will write for mixtures. In a mixture, the original atoms and molecules, they remain as because there is no chemical change taking place. So in a mixture there is no chemical change taking place. The atoms and the molecules, they remain as they are. So, and each one has its own property, they retain their own property. Now we are coming to activity 2.3 to identify mixtures that we come across in our daily lives. In our daily lives, what we come across, maximum of them are mixtures. Now list some mixtures that you can recall, identify the components of these mixtures present, and you write that one in a tabular form. Okay. Now we are coming next to the characteristics of mixtures. Now what are the characteristics of mixtures? We have done characteristics of elements, compounds. Now about the mixtures. Number 1. The constituents of a mixture may be present in any ratio. So this is the first one. So what happens here? Mixture, it has no definite proportion. It can be mixed in any proportion. Number 2, the constituents of a mixture exhibit their original properties. The properties of the original substances in a mixture, they remain the same. There is no chemical reactions taking place. There is no change in the properties taking place. So each of the substances in a mixture, they retain their own properties. Now we are coming to number 3. When we are telling about properties, there are boiling point, melting point, etc. So what happens here, as each of them, each of the components, they have their own properties, there is no fixed melting or boiling point of the mixture. So here the mixture does not exhibit any fixed melting or boiling point of just like a compound. Now number 4, a mixture can be separated into its constituents. A mixture can be separated into its constituents by simple physical or mechanical means. So what we find here, that we can separate the components by physical means. There is no chemical reaction taking place, or mechanical, let it be by hand or using a magnet or anything. And number 5 is that generally no energy is absorbed or released when a mixture is formed. So these are the main points, and then comes the explanation part. Now we are coming to the types of mixtures. When we talk about mixtures, it's very important to understand whether it's homogeneous or heterogeneous. These are the two types of mixtures. Now what are homogeneous mixtures? Homogeneous mixtures, these are a mixture in which the components cannot be seen separately and are uniformly distributed throughout its volume are called homogeneous mixture. So what happens? It is evenly spread out. It is totally evenly spread out. Such as we mix sugar to water, stir it very nicely until nothing of it remains. Then what will happen? The solution that we get, it has uniform properties. It is uniformly sweet. So this is a homogeneous mixture. Next comes the heterogeneous mixture. As the name suggests, its properties differ throughout the mixture. In one place it's more of a one substance, in another place there is more of the other substance. So it is a mixture in which components can be easily seen and are not uniformly distributed, as are called heterogeneous mixtures. Mixture of sand and gravel, oil and water, all these are examples of heterogeneous mixture. Now all of you take out activity 2.4. Now activity 2.4 is based on that quantity of the substance actually that make the difference in the mixtures. You see here there's some drinking water taken in 3 tumblers, and we take a spoonful of lemon juice. Okay, we have some lemon juice with us, and here in first tumbler we put 1 spoonful, second tumbler we put 3 spoonfuls, while in the third tumbler we put 5 spoonfuls of lemon juice. So and then it's stirred nicely in each case. Now when we taste it, we'll see all are sour, but as the concentration of the lemon juice increases, it becomes more and more sour. So what happens here? We get homogeneous mixture in all cases, but the property differs depending upon the concentration of constituent present. So here less concentration, less sour, more concentration, more sour. Now next, differences between compounds and mixtures. Compound, mixtures. Compound we already know, say water, it's a pure substance. A mixture, say air, it is an impure substance. Impure means it's not a single substance. There are a variety of substance in it. Now compounds, in case of compounds, the constituents are present in fixed ratio. It is present in fixed ratio. Water, say H2O. So hydrogen is to oxygen is 2 is to 1. In case of mixture, the constituents can be present in any ratio. Okay. Now next, third one. Third point, the energy is absorbed or released during formation of a compound. This is very important because during the formation of a compound there is always chemical reactions taking place, and there is a lot of energy either absorbed or evolved. Okay, but there is no such change in energy during the formation of a mixture. The components of a compound cannot be separated by simple physical method that we already discussed before. So in a compound we have to have some chemical reactions taking place, but in case of mixtures we can separate using simple physical methods. The properties of a compound are entirely different from its constituent elements. So in water, say the constituent elements are hydrogen and oxygen, but the property of water is totally different from the property of hydrogen or oxygen. Now in case of mixture such as air, air contains oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and each of the gases, they retain their original properties. Now compound has a fixed melting and boiling point, but mixtures that we said just now, it does not have any fixed melting or boiling point. So as I was taking the examples of air and water, which are very common mixtures and compounds, okay, so we'll again differentiate between water and air, and we will understand very clearly why water is a compound whereas air is a mixture. So first of all, water is homogeneous. Everywhere water is same, but air, it is containing the number of substances, number of gases, dust particles, etc. So it is not totally homogeneous, and it retains the individual properties, and here it does not retain the individual property. Now the composition of the water remains same throughout, whereas composition of the air, that can differ. Properties of water is entirely different from the properties of oxygen and nitrogen. Oxygen and hydrogen, that are the constituent elements, whereas in case of air retain their individual properties. The constituents, all of them, they retain their all properties. Now energy change takes place during the formation of water, and there is no energy change taking place during the formation of air because it's a mixture. Okay, so the next day we are going to do the separation of mixtures. Doing all the differences is very, very important, and all of you please study and come prepared for the next day. Thank you.